Anyway, let's watch Scott Jennings cut through the spin and expose who really kept the government shut down. Let's go.
He's not committing to it or not committing to it. And this is the very thing that Democrats were afraid of, that if they capitulated, that the subsidies would not be dealt with. How do you respond to that? There are a lot of people worried about how expensive their health care is about to get.
Yeah, first of all, Congressman, congrats on your book. Honored to be with you tonight. Second, look, one thing that came out of this entire fight is that the healthcare system in this country has been, Obamacare, has been exposed as a complete and utter failure. We all know it now. Everybody admits it. The other thing that came out is that Democrats are willing to make people suffer. And you heard Democrat after Democrat today say, well, we just couldn't prolong the suffering. So they admit that their political tactics were designed to inflict suffering on the American people. We also learned about cynical politics in this. But the overall issue of health care is going to have to be dealt with because the system has failed. Everyone, I think it's bipartisan now, admits it. But I'm not sure that having Mike Johnson commit to giving billions of dollars to insurance companies for insurance that's not getting any better, it feels like it's getting worse to the American people, is going to make a difference. I could see Democrats and Republicans coming together to discuss that, like if we're going to spend this amount of money, should we be just giving it to insurance companies or should we be doing something else with it that would actually have a chance of making it feel like you could get seen by a doctor and get a better health outcome? But what we're doing now, writing checks to health insurance companies, is not getting us any better outcomes at all.
But I think what we saw also, I think what America saw, particularly people who were directly impacted and suffering, is they saw that Donald Trump does not give a damn. While people were going hungry, while federal workers were making lines that went round blocks, he was in Mar-a-Lago golfing or hosting lavish parties with seafood towers and caviar and champagne. Not at one point did he say, we have got to convene, I'm going to lead, I'm going to put Republicans and Democrats in a room around a table, like he did with Palestinians and Israelis, and we're going to craft a deal. We are all Americans and we have to figure this out. No, I mean, he just completely abdicated his duty to lead. And when he wasn't hosting a Great Gatsby party, he was giving $40 billion of U.S. taxpayer money to Argentina to bail out those people. Doesn't sound very America first to me. And so I think that put a light on the kind of precedent that people.
All right, let's sort this whole thing out. I'm sure you've all heard Democrats on TV saying Republicans are starving Americans by refusing to open the government. I know they lie on here all the time, but how do they keep getting away with this? Republicans did vote to reopen it over and over and over and over and over. The only reason Democrats blocked it was because they wanted to slip back in the expanded Obamacare subsidies that were already eliminated earlier this year in the big beautiful bill. The same subsidies that cost roughly $18 to $20 billion a year. It's not about feeding families. That's about resurrecting a political trophy from the COVID era that was supposed to expire. So why did Democrats really keep it closed? The answer is not compassion, it's politics. Republicans said, fine, let's fund the government, but without any extras right now. And when the clean continuing resolution finally passed to reopen the government today, those subsidies stayed out. The government reopened, taxpayers saved billions, and the party that claimed to care about hungry Americans turned out to be the ones keeping the door shut. So maybe you guys can help me understand. On what planet does anyone believe that it was Republicans actually starving Americans? And while Ana Navarro says some really stupid things in the clip we're about to watch, we've heard her go down this talk track before, claiming federal workers are lining up at homeless shelters for food. Really? Like, how do they keep letting her get away with saying this? The average federal employee makes over $90,000 a year and gets full back pay after every shutdown. Were there isolated cases of hardship? I'm sure there were. But the idea that thousands of DC bureaucrats were in soup kitchen lines is pure theater. Literally just a talking point designed to make Republicans look heartless.